In this video, I'm going to give you a short review of the different types of transformations we can do with functions. But I'm going to start by just talking about what happens on the graph. We're going to talk about what that does to the actual equations of the functions in another video. The first type of transformation I want to talk about is called a translation. A translation is any time a function is moved right, left, up, or down. Sometimes we use the word slide. But if I move this graph here from 0, 0, the vertex there, and then over to here, we would say that that was a translation right 4 units. Another type of transformation is called a reflection. Some say a flip. Now, when we're just talking about a graph, we usually restrict, when we say reflection, we mean reflect either across the x-axis, which would be this here that I just did in red, or across the y-axis, what I just did in blue there. Now, if I wanted to do a reflection across the x-axis, let me show you what that would look like. So, I want to have a mirror image on the other side of the x-axis. So that means my graph needs to be below the x-axis. If I reflect and it starts above, it will reflect over and be below. So it's going to open down, and then it's going to look like this. So again, mirror image. Wherever these points are along this line, or along this graph down here, if I just go up here, so if that's 2, 5, I should see the point 2, -5 right there. That means I reflected it across the x-axis correctly. Now, a reflection across the y-axis, with this particular graph, that really doesn't do anything, because all it's doing, so see here, if I were to flip left, right, I get the exact same picture. It didn't change at all. That's because this particular graph is already symmetrical. So, across the y-axis, we could say that that type of flip is horizontal. We go across the y-axis. And then if we reflect across the x-axis, that's a vertical change. The last type of transformation that we're going to talk about in this focus area is dilations. Now, dilations basically is just a stretch or compression. It's changing the shape of the function. We can talk about dilations that are horizontal stretches and compressions, or we can talk about ones that are vertical. Now, for the purpose of most of what you're going to see in this focus area, we're going to focus on vertical stretches and compressions. I'll explain a little bit about horizontal in this video, and I'll do more so later on, but vertical is going to be our main focus when we're identifying transformations from a graph. So if I were to take this first function, this first parabola, and stretch it, pull it down this way, that would be a vertical stretch. Or if I took it, actually let me go back to the original, and I compressed it, like moved it up, that's a vertical compression. Now I can do the same thing horizontally. I can grab this little gray thing here, and even though it takes it a second, there we go, and move it left, so this would be a horizontal compression. Move it right, horizontal stretch, compression, stretch. So what happens when you're doing a vertical stretch is it could look the exact same as if I had done a horizontal compression. So it's understandable, it's easy to get a little bit confused, but you can see something like this here either being compressed horizontally or stretched vertically. Those are two different ways to see that. But just remember, so dilation is just when you're changing the shape. So that's just a quick overview of the different types of transformations that you're going to be talking about in this focus area. Hope this video was helpful.